Okay, we are now
Jumping now,
recording. Good morning.
jumping, jumping, Alan. We are actually closer to each other than we've ever been.
Pretty close. Yeah, yeah, by a good margin actually. Yeah, because what,
Yeah,
Toronto to
what,
St.
eight
Catharines?
minutes?
Yeah,
So yes, Toronto, St. Catharines. Well, I guess when we lived in Toronto, we were close, but still not close.
right. Yes.
You were
Yeah,
more in the west end, and I was kind of northeast,
right. Yep. Yeah,
and
that's
and then and now now we're 8 minutes away, like literally 8 minutes.
8 minutes
I
away,
googled it yet. I googled it yesterday. I was like, we are 8 minutes away.
and we've had
So
a
closest
we
we've ever been.
after knowing each other for 19 years or 18 years, we've actually had a meal together.
Yeah, we shared a meal. Yeah, yeah, we've had coffee together, but we've never shared a meal until a few days ago, which is pretty funny in itself too.
Yeah,
So
welcome to relationships online, right? You know,
I
not
guess, yeah,
romantic relationships, but I've worked with people in Puerto Rico and Costa Rica who I've never met, right? So
yeah. So as I said, I met you. I think we met before in a coffee shop called the
yes, Yellow
Yellow
Cup
Cup
Cafe.
Cafe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a story behind that place that's amusing too, but later off air.
So yeah, all right. So where we are at is obviously the new year,
Yes.
which is pretty interesting. So happy New Year to you, and it's time to find out how we did, I guess, over Christmas because our last one was the 29th, and then New Year's comes along, and that always starts, a new ball rolling, so to speak. And of course, it's been snowing in Campbellford, so I don't know if that makes you stay inside more or makes you come out more. So I don't know.
I have to clean the driveway, so there's that at the very least, and yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
So
that's a time you could be doing other things.
yes, yeah.
So usually you're looking at 1,000 words. You're looking at putting some scenes together. How did the switch over to a new year change um, your writing?
So um, the answer to that question, actually, you know what? Do this. Got my glasses.
If we were on a sitcom, there is no way we'd let you put your back to the camera.
Wait, just wait.
We'd be sitting at a table side by side.
This is the
Oh,
answer
look
to
at that.
the question. There's so
Wow, what is that? Is that the
that
manuscript?
that is a manuscript. Let me get it in the camera. There we are. Yeah. So
Is that the full thing at the moment?
that is the full thing at the moment. Yeah,
Okay.
it's double spaced, double sided.
How many pages?
298.
Okay.
So my word count, I haven't actually got stats because I think my word count has probably not changed.
Okay, got it.
Um,
So you spent what the last 2 weeks with pen and paper, I'm assuming?
yeah, I got myself a printer, and if I get a little bit closer here, you can see markup all over the place, right?
Yeah, that's what my manuscript looked like too. It's interesting. Though, do you prefer to edit that way over like doing it on a screen?
Well, I don't know if you could say prefer because it's somewhat of a different experience, right? So I think I view, the relationship with the pros is somewhat different. It's kind of easier to go. Wait a second, let me go back 2 pages and see if I used that word too many times and stuff like that. Whereas you're when you scroll, you can't stick your finger into something online and then go back to it. you know.
Interesting, because we have different styles of writing.
Yep.
Editing, it sounds like we're very close. I will print off everything, and then I just go through it. And then, if I'm moving things around, I'll move chapters around physically,
Right.
like so chapter, this scene in chapter 4, I'll go in and I'll reprint just the scene and I'll throw it back somewhere. And so it's a more of a manual than a digital process or an
Yeah.
analog, if you
I
want.
I would be surprised if I moved chapters around. I might move a scene around. There's I think one place where I moved a paragraph, but but most of this is just looking at it and going, okay, this sentence is, the subject's in the middle of the sentence instead of up at the beginning, and it doesn't read well. So there's lots of little circles and arrows and minor word changes, and then notes for my second draft, which are, what's this character's state of mind? You're not communicating it, or how did they get from here to there, right? Because so,
So interesting. So you don't move any scenes around. You're pretty much set based on your because you have mapped out your stuff. You're pretty solid of where you're going with those scenes.
In draft 0, that was the case, but because now I'm adding these two subplots, I haven't been able. Sometimes I haven't threaded them in exactly the way that they should be threaded in, and so there has been a little bit of, okay, if I move this up, then this character knows this, or this has happened, and the timeline is all worked out, because the timeline bounces around. It starts and then it goes back several months and then picks back up again, and then everything starts to merge. So there's all this stuff needs to be threaded together in some way, so that when a reader is going through, they don't go, what, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been in Novel Writer. I've moved scenes around. That spreadsheet that I produce with the synopses and all that kind of stuff, that's the thing where I can go through and I can say, all right, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. Oh, no, this has not happened. Let me move that around and get it all sorted out. And sometimes it's like, oh wait, I need a scene to establish this up here before we're down here, and it's a given, right?
So giving our two different styles of writing, you basically printed the manuscript off before you finished.
Yes.
Am I correct on this?
Yeah.
So you're just getting reacquainted with what you're doing?
So I'm basically into Act 3, and Act 3 needs to be significantly revised, because this is where all the subplots and all the characters all come together. And because it's taken so long to get everything organized, and because there's been moving those scenes around, my concept was, okay, I'm going to print this thing out, I'm going to do a read through, I'll have everything in my head as to where we are in the story, what's known, what's not known, and I can power through to the end of the first draft. That's the theory. But of course, this is the first time it's actually showed up on paper. And as I'm doing the read through, I'm finding all these little minor edits, right? I'm not doing any substantial edits. I'm just fixing the occasional sentence, and there's a the where there should be a he, and just minor stuff, right? So,
but I guess my point is, you're not finished, though,
no,
right? Like you still have, you're at 298, and you still have half a book to write.
Not quite, but at least a third. Yeah, I've got 22 scenes to write. Yeah.
See, bizarre concept to me. In like, I don't look at chapter 1 until I'm done. Like until the murderer is caught, and they're in jail, and we're in the denouement of people are lying in bed talking about it, or whatever their thing is. Like
right.
I do not, and then I draw it, and then I'll come back to it in 6 months.
Right.
So that's and I over dinner we had a brief discussion about going forward. I probably am going to finish the current novel at the end of the month, if not early in February.
Right.
Because this morning, of course, when I was writing, I added a whole again, because I have no idea where I'm going. This morning something happened, and I went, oh, cool, I could go this way instead of going linear to the end as I thought I was going. Suddenly, I just made a slight right turn in one plot, and there's another left turn being done at another plot. So I can, I was like, I may not hit the 80,000 words that I wanted to at least get to. I think now with the new, I may hit 90.
Right.
So because there's going to be more coming. And
Right.
I thought I was there. I am at the end. I don't know. There's no more story to tell. And this morning somebody said something, and I went, oh, there is more story to tell. So I'm not looking back. I am plowing ahead until she's done. And then come February, I will be back at some editing of a novel. And you and I will be having completely different conversations
Right.
about word counts and page counts and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And if I, I don't know what I would write if I didn't go through this process, because I'd just be creating stuff that didn't necessarily make a lot of sense inside the story. And, I mean, I'd be doing what you're doing. I'd be pantsing. I'd be making it up. And for me,
You got
that's
to
like,
try it, man. It's a lot of fun.
no. All I think I'd see from that is a bunch of stuff where I go, okay, this is shit, and it winds up on the cutting room floor. You know?
Oh, I see. I'm still in the Harlan Coben mode of whatever twists and turns you create. You can always backtrack in editing. That's what editing's for. Now's
But
the time to let your mind go wild.
I know, but I know what's going to happen, right?
See, I guess that's the
I know what needs to happen and where this stuff needs to go. I need to work out some of the. I will be pantsing it a bit because there are some the detailed stuff I don't know, but I know that these things have to happen. This guy has to meet up with this guy. They have to agree to do this. They have to go there. This happens. That happens. This happens. Then the other two timelines start to have their own little conflict and come barging in, and the whole thing comes to this massive train crash of a conclusion. Right? That's that's all in my head, right? But what's not in my head is exactly what each of those characters currently knows. So that's why I want to do the read through, right? I want to make sure that I've got the head state of everybody going into this so that when it all comes together and crashes and everything else, I'm not rereading it when I print out the edit draft and go, oh man, this makes no frigging sense, and I have to go back and rewrite these scenes in order to make it even close, right? Like that's just silly for me.
I don't know why. It just, the idea of going back now and doing any kind of reading on what I was doing would probably just mess me up. And that's, I don't know if that sounds, just ridiculous, but it would. I would be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that,
Right,
right?
right, yeah,
Because I want to, I guess I want to let my imagination run wild and let you know, as writers, I, no, as myself, I do it early in the morning. You're a night writer.
right,
Geez, that sounds like some sort of superhero. But but I'm early in the morning, and I'm in that foggy state where I actually am, because this one's centered in Italy. I'm there. Like
mm,
I am in rooms with people. I am, observing. I am that all knowing narrator watching. I am the fly on the wall watching this shit go down.
right,
Right.
right, and
So, um, yeah. So that's you know. And if I have to go back, I don't want to be the fly going back. So I want to be the fly going forward.
well, you see, in this story, I had to go back, right, because
Yeah.
draft zero, the story just went and petered off, right? There was stuff missing, and if I read the original, draft zero, it's what I call it. Um, it goes along fine, and then it gets strained, and then it just runs out of gas, right? And so
So
what I had to do was go back and figure out why it ran out of gas, and that required that I bring in these other elements. And so I'm at the point where I'm not that all-knowing guy in the room. I know that I've got all this stuff put together, but it's taken so long to get there that I've lost the all-knowing part. And
Oh,
that's why I'm
all
reading
right.
this thing, right? I need to be the omniscient narrator as I go into the final scenes.
So you're at a manuscript printed out, 298 pages. How long you've been at it, first of all, so we should find out where you're at on this. So are
About
you
I'm
are
about a
you
week in.
halfway through or
I'm about
okay?
a week in, and I am on page 87. So coming up on halfway, or no, coming up on a third. Yeah,
Okay, so you're page 87 there. And you're hoping to be finished this, I'm assuming by the end of the week, 2 weeks, the end of the month. What are you looking at?
at this rate, probably 2 weeks, but you know, we'll see how it goes. It's interesting. It's weird. I appear to be more of a morning editor.
Oh yeah, the fresh head. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I may be more of a night writer, but this is something where I come in early in the morning and I'm looking at it and it's like, okay, yeah, this is that, and I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. Um,
I noticed that if it gets to be 9 o'clock and I have not put pen to paper or started any kind of edit, I'm like, nope, not today.
nah,
Like it's like the day is gone. It's like the day is lost. I'm like,
well,
oh, too late. So I just can't. So as for where I am, mine's a pretty easy. I wrote 8,937 words this week. Um,
8,937. Okay,
sorry, yeah, 8,937 words
wow,
for a grand total so far of 67,464, which is where I thought I was like, okay, if this is coming to the end, I may not hit my 80,000 minimum,
right,
which is what I said as I always said that as my minimum.
right, yeah,
My Dabble, which is the program I use, gives you 50,000, and I'm like, that's a short story. No one's looking at 50,000 words
it's a
anymore.
short novel
Um,
or that's in novella territory, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm like, no, I always push it to 80, and then hopefully I'm gonna go blowing by that. As far as chapters, I'm at chapter 65. Don't ask me scenes because I am, every chapter has got, at least two or three scenes in it. So,
right.
um, and as I said, I am trying to, plow full steam ahead into the end of the month to finish this.
Right.
So that's where I am. And your goal is 2 weeks,
Yeah. Yeah, I
correct?
think that's pretty good. And then so the process is going to be, because I didn't expect this to be an edit round. I expected it to be a read through and then finish the damn thing. But I just can't abide the stuff I'm reading. I you know
So away to the editing bay we are at.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. And I'm not doing any substantial edits. The most substantial thing I'm doing is writing a note for second draft, right? Like saying, okay, we need to do this here. I'm not going back into the manuscript and adding a scene or something like that. Um,
so you're still looking at having
oh,
your
hold on. I've lost your
84,
audio,
85.
and I may have lost you. Wait, I think you're back. Say hello.
I'm still here.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay. So you're still looking at 84 to 85 scenes. Yeah. So
Yeah, my scene count shouldn't
and,
change much. It might go up or down two or three.
and, and you say your word counts about. So are you gonna put these edits in? Like you're gonna after the 298?
Yes,
Are you gonna get back in front of the computer and go quick edits,
I'm
or are
going
you
to.
just gonna leave them on paper and then start writing again?
I. The answer to that's not 100% clear, but my gut feel is I'm going to put the edits in and I'm going to print it again,
Okay.
and then I'm going to read it through, and hopefully then the number of subsequent edits will be very small, and I can just tack one per 2 or 3 pages instead of five per page, and and use that to read it like a reader would, right?
Got it.
To get the feeling for the pace and all those other wonderful things. I might make some pace notes. I've already made one pace note, And then I'll be the omniscient narrator again, and then it's back to the keyboard and hopefully bang it all out because as I said, I know what needs to happen, right? So it's actually starting to build up. I need to get that on the page.
So I've got goals for basically a 2 week edit. So if you've been at it for, let's say, a week,
Yeah.
hopefully you'll finish, and by the time we meet again, which is
Yes.
again 2 weeks,
Yep.
you'll have had this, you'll have looked this through, edits to the computer, and probably by then you're looking at reading that second, going through that second read through for pace. Am I
Right.
correct on writing that goal down?
Raid through. Yeah. Pace and just to be the omniscient to make sure my omniscient narrator actually knows everything.
So that brings us to last week's question
Yes.
before we sign off. As everybody knows, we finally found our hook. So, um, and the question I asked you, I don't know if you remember, was how do you know when to kill a character?
Uh, and for me, I know when to kill a character when I'm writing out the plot, right? Like it's it sort of is intrinsic. Uh, I guess the funny thing is, we're writing two different things, right? So
You know,
you're writing this thing where people die and other stuff happens, and there's a whole element of mystery to it. Whereas there's no mystery to mine. My dead characters are assassinated by my protagonist. So
oh, so everybody knows that right from the beginning.
yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And none of my main characters die, right? I'm
okay,
I'm still not sure whether or not my antagonist is going to die, get jailed, or get away. I will pants that final scene.
okay.
You know,
Right, well, that's a good thing.
there's a couple of options for what happens to the bad guy. But other than that, I knew when I was so the genesis of the plot. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Um, I have this idea, right? This idea is, in a world where you need some sort of cyber augmentation in order to break class barriers, what happens? And so,
Yeah,
so that leads me to my protagonist who has to find a way, comes from a meager background. He's a lower class kind of guy. And he has to find a way to upgrade himself, hence the title, the upgrade part of the title of the book. And um, if he doesn't do that, his career is limited. He can't get ahead. And he's a very career driven, shallow kind of guy. So then it's like, okay, so what does this guy do? Well, this guy goes and finds a under the table illegal way to achieve that upgrade. And then what are the consequences of that, right? Of course, there's always complications. That's his character flaw. He's gone and done this thing. So that expands out, and eventually it's like, all right, well, let's say that his upgrade has some problems, and some of those problems are that he can be used to kill people.
okay.
And so that's how it goes, right? I mean,
So,
I'm
so then there's an assassination of somebody gets assassinated, and
yeah,
that's driving the plot. Is that correct?
exactly.
On
And
what the
yeah,
whole thing?
and spoiler alert: the story starts with him lying on his entryway floor, dirty, bleeding, a little wounded, and he doesn't understand why. And then news reports indicate that somebody's been assassinated, and he's like, "Wait a second, that might be me. I don't get it, right?"
Got it.
And so resolving that is the rest of the story, right?
So, all right. So then maybe instead of killing somebody, how do you know when to retire a character? Because I can tell you, for me, killing a character is now that's the pantsing part.
Right.
Like that is total. Like I have now I murdered off my some characters that I really liked. I really liked a certain character, and I thought, okay, I could see him moving on to another book.
Right.
And well, unless he somehow, unless I do some sort of prequel,
Right. Right.
he ain't coming back. He's dead.
Right.
And then I thought, okay, well, there's another one that I'm like, okay, so as I was moving forward in the book, I'm like, okay, so this guy's going to come in and he's going to help them, really move the mystery forward because he's got some information. But before he could actually give the information that I thought I wanted him to have, I killed him because
Right.
it felt right to
Right.
kill him.
Yep.
So now somebody else, I had picked him as I think he's going to give the information. Now I've got to find some way to either get the information out of his head, his computer, his his pocket, from his girlfriend. Somebody else has to have that information that he has because I killed him off. And it just felt right
Right.
to kill him. Like at that moment, somebody walked in, they started talking to him, and I was like, there's no way out of it. She's got to kill him. She has to. She is the character that there's no way she leaves him alive.
Right.
And as much as I really wanted to keep him alive, I was like, she's now met him, and she's cleaning house. She
Right.
has got to kill him, and she did.
Right.
And I'm like, now what do I do? And and you and usually that's the place where I stop. Like that's my day.
Right.
I'll stop and I'll sleep on this one because I got to come back the next day or in the next few days and figure out where everything else is coming.
Right.
And it's probably for me, I do not exhaust the tank.
Right.
I leave the table still with um still with things in my head just to let them sit around
Right.
because if I exhaust the tank, I don't know where I'm going next.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah,
I
that makes
leave
sense.
some in the tank, and then it's like a car that you like
It
the milk
ferments.
carton, right,
Yeah.
in the fridge that nobody wants to finish.
Yeah.
It's that little slash. That's what it's like to write in the morning, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop here. Although I know what's going to happen, I still got to add more into the milk before I can pour it again.
Right.
So
Right. And I guess this goes back to our discussion of series, because for me, when the book ends, most of the minor characters, at the very least, are done. Right.
yeah,
So
yeah. So I
they just go away. Yeah.
so I kill off characters left and right, and then I kind of hope for the best, hope that I can figure it out, hope that I can come back, hope I can get their information, hope that they find a journal that he suddenly had that nobody knew, and there's a key in his pocket, or
Right.
somebody's going through his hair and they find a bobby pin that unlocks something, anything that could happen that's interesting.
Yeah. 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 And I mean, most of my dead guys are just, they have,
Or just dead.
well, and I mean, they, the the clues they provide is there a connection between them, right?
Yeah.
Like, why are these guys dead? As my homicide detective starts to look at all these cases, and she's used to, this is like, dystopian surveillance state. She's used to solving a murder by pulling up the surveillance cameras and going, he did it. And now she's faced with this swath of murders that are somehow not solvable that way. And so she's like, okay, what the hell is going on here? And then trying to figure out if they're all connected or not. And, some of them are and some of them aren't. So that's,
So this besides at the end where you're gonna pants this whole thing, do you ever kill somebody off, or somebody disappears? Like, I don't want to say by accident, because nothing happens by accident. We write it in there.
right.
And your brain's always think. But do you ever go, okay, he's dead?
I think not in this book, but in some of the other stories I'm looking at. I mean, one of them, the sort of the central character is dead right at the beginning, so that's not anybody dying. I don't really have that story worked out, so I don't think anybody's dying. There's another one where it's more of a adventure science fiction kind of thing, and somebody might die there. Right, there might be a bit of a battle, and a character might not survive the battle, but it's not a shoot 'em up science fiction kind of story. It's more one where there's lots of cooperative people, so that's going to be more of a surprise, I guess, than anything else. Like to everybody, it's going to be what the hell, how did that, why did that happen, who did this, right?
But because of the way you write, this is going to happen.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because
Okay.
I mean, it goes back to what I was saying about the story. Like, there's a story method that I think is useful for beginning writers. It's called the snowflake method, and it's what's his name, Randy Bergenson, and he says, okay, start with a sentence, and this is very much science fiction, space adventure kind of thing, which is why it doesn't apply to a lot of things. But he's like, start with a sentence. What would the elevator pitch be for your book, and then turn that sentence into a paragraph, and then turn that paragraph into a set of paragraphs, right? Just sort of incrementally expand the whole thing until you've got the scope of the story together, and then go write the story, right? So that's a top-down plotting kind of process. I don't think that it necessarily gets you good stories, but it's a good way for me to start with an idea. Like, what happens in this area after the climate has collapsed, but civilization, the humanity hasn't been wiped off the earth. What are the forms of survival, and how do those people interact together, right? So that's the top line, right? And then you start to break that down and build a plot out of it, right? Yeah.
So I guess to wrap a little bow on this topic,
Yeah.
nobody dies in your books or stories
Oh,
without your
I lost your
pre-knowledge.
audio. Hold on.
Oh,
You're back.
okay. So just to wrap this up in a little bow,
Yep.
nobody dies in any of your stories or books
Right.
without your pre-knowledge.
So far, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because with me, it's always a surprise. All right. You know what? That's it for this week. What I'm going to leave you with is this, because over dinner, my girlfriend asked you a question, and we had a lively discussion, and I thought I would bring it back here because maybe we'll have some more time to think about it.
Okay.
And basically, what is the role of AI in writing or artistry? And I think that was quite a lively discussion, and we'll have it between you and I in 2 weeks.
Do we have to? Can't we just ignore AI until it goes away?
Unfortunately, no.
All right.
All right.
That
You have a
sounds
good week
good.
and good luck on your editing.
Right.
Come
Let me
And,
up. Let me see if I can get my huge lapdog to come up on my lap. Come on, up you come. Up you come.
Oh, we're going to
Here
get
we
a
go.
last shot of a dog, which is good.
Here we go.
I haven't seen this one.
This is Cooper. He's my 70-pound lapdog.
Hey, 70-pound lapdog. Look at you.
He's a
Give him a pen and get him to write.
Oh, and now
or a typewriter. He can knock out a few words.
now the jealous Baxter is trying to get in on the act. So here
Well,
we go.
here we go. Two dogs will always not want to get along when that happens.
Right, there we
All
go.
right, you have a good week. Edit well, and I hope you get through it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
My goal is to catch up with you on word count because you're at 72, I'm at
It
67.
sounds like
So
you're going to hit it. Yeah.
I probably will. All right. See you
Cool.
next week
All right.
or 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Out.
Take care.